important because subs are part of it, is Brandon Marion. We are ready to go on the whistle from Ryan Sigich. And here we go, the TST Group G action. 48 teams, the top 2 teams in every group will qualify, plus 8 third-place teams. So 32 teams advance to the knockout round, which is just fantastic. All leading to a Monday night where they'll crown 2 champions, one from the men's side and one from the 8-team field for the women. Right off the bat, Newtown Pride get it inside the goal box and then knocked out of there by Hyper DC. William Eskay, one of the players we spotlighted. They tried to find him. Eskay, the entire Eskay family, huge into soccer. He actually told me before the game that, you know, Captain Obvious, but the goal is to win another $1 million. That was Costa who got a little touch. Patience coming right now. As we moved through the TST last year, we started to see the teams that featured a ton of indoor players, futsal players, beach players were really effective. And then another key, teams that had incredible depth. So multiple subs and then youth. So a little mixture of young players that can handle the heat. Certainly this morning when we got things rolling at 8:30, it was really hot. Now a little cloud cover will cool it down just a little bit. Hyper DC trying to move it out of the back. DC Hyper, rather, in the red. Now DC Hyper plays it back. Newtown Pride have Urbina in goal, whereas DC Hyper, Roberto Gomez Jr. I say that because you'll probably hear those names a lot. Goalies, goalkeepers are key in this format, TST. They're particularly key in target score time if goals aren't happening and as they start to remove players. If you have a goalkeeper that is good with their feet, can move forward, that fitness is really good, that will make a difference. We're just getting started here. A couple minutes in, they play 2 20-minute halves. You saw the rules already, but reminding you, no offsides, no throw-in, unlimited subs. The key with the subs is you do need to make sure that the player is off the field before they come on. I feel like they've, based on the first game I did with Natty SC and Burnley, Chad Ochocinco, who featured in that game, definitely left early, but I think they maybe will be a little more casual about it, at least to start. We'll keep an eye on the sub changes. Newtown Pride taking their time, building out of the back. Robert Palmer. Now the Pride over on the left side. They'll have the kick in. Lucas Souza. Just watch the ease of the way Newtown Pride plays. Just nice and easy. Don't overexert themselves. Know how to manage this. It's also important to point out, as a foul is called against DC Hyper, that not only do the top 2 teams of the 12 groups of 4 advance, 8 third-place teams advance. So you could lose your first 2 games and very much still make it to the knockout round, which I think is another great change from the leaders of TST. John Mugar is featured today on the United Soccer Coaches podcast. Great interview with him, followed by Heather O'Reilly. You need to check it out. The entire show dedicated to the TST. John Mugar, who actually started in comedy and producing comedies out in LA, and then his 13-year-old buddy Dan Friel, who he met when he was 13, they came up with the concept for basketball. First threw out $500,000 back in 2014, and since then the TBT's been rolling, and now the second year of the TST, and they've already said that next year's TST will start here on May 31. They switch it to Toby. And they'll call Toby for the foul. And that's the right call, a little bit of a hook. Good work by DC Hyper to get strong. DC Hyper, that was Brito da Silva, number 14. If he's a $140, that's about it, as he is not the biggest player out there. No score, 5.5 minutes in. This is field 3, also known as McAfee Stadium, as Pat McAfee doing his show, and he's got a team in the TST. Actually doing a show from the corner of this field, which is pretty cool. Taken away by DC Hyper. They'll play it back. You can see a little higher press now coming from Newtown Pride.
Drop, Justin.
Really nothing in or around the go box so far here. The first 6 minutes, neither team overexerting themselves at all. Ooh, good little footwork there from the youngster for DC Hyper. This is gonna fall just outside the goal box. That was Dos Santos, number 7. He was trying to play it back to his teammate, taken away here by Newtown Pride. Here comes Costa. Ooh, that could be a card. It's gotta be. So a yellow card. No doubt, as Costa was off to the races. He knew it. Tactical foul, sometimes called a professional foul. Just flat out grabbed the jersey of Costa, and automatic yellow card. So DC Hyper into the books with the yellow. That's Lucas Silva who will get the paint. Still no score and really no shots. Costa, a rare turnover. That young man was so good last year. I caught 16 games in 2 days, and Costa was the kind of guy that I wanted to find anytime he was playing. Great to be at Wake Med Soccer Park. I actually called the first ever game here back in 2000 for the original Carolina Courage. Longtime voice of North Carolina FC and the Carolina Railhawks. Speaking of the Railhawks, Colin Clark standing by, former coach of the Railhawks. It's one of those areas, once you come here, you stay. And Colin Clark, a perfect example of that, talking about the triangle here in North Carolina. We're in Cary. The town of Cary has done an amazing job. I mentioned John Mugar, the founder of this event. He talked about how the town of Cary has been awesome. The setup this year even bigger and better than it was last year, and last year was pretty darn cool. Newtown Pride trying to put some passes together. Really, the biggest action so far has been the yellow card, the tactical foul right at midfield as Costa was off to the races. So the key now will be just for Lucas Silva to be careful, as he's got to go the rest of the game without another one. And there's Silva on the tackle, one back by Newtown Pride. Right now, Costa will get a break. I mentioned the key to success, and depth is one of them. I'm definitely not saying for you pundits out there that you have to have an indoor team or a futsal team or a beach team to win this. You don't. I'm just saying last year those kind of teams seem to have a lot of success, and then you add in depth and youth, and it's kind of the perfect formula. I will say that a lot of the teams that returned this time around, they started training camp like 3 months ago. Regular training camp to prepare for this with $1 million on the line, another foul called, and that's the Silva. He's already got a yellow, so he needs to be careful. TST, the soccer tournament. In 1 year, they go from 32 teams, it was 31 men and 1 women's team, led by Heather O'Reilly, to 48, and then they add a women's bracket with 8 teams, all kinds of talent, superstars. Inters here from Italy. Just saw Burnley from the Premier League with J.J. Watt. By the way, J.J. Watt, for those of you that were wondering if he played, not only did he play, he should have scored a goal. It was close to scoring a goal as I've ever seen, as he made a perfect turn, perfect strike on it. And Jay, the goalkeeper for Natty SC, got a fingertip on it and went off the post. The celebration of J.J. Watt would have scored a goal would have been nuts. This team features all full-time soccer players. I mean, this team here eats, breathes, lives soccer. Take a look at this foul, and once again, it's De Silva who, that time actually it was Fabio Grigoletto Jr., not Silva, which is probably good because Silva's sitting on that yellow. We played about 9 minutes. Newtown Pride, your reigning champs of the $1 million TST, directly shot, but not even close on target, and it'll come back to DC Hyper. Moments that matter. Shop the new Adidas Advancement Pack now at soccer.com. That's the new Adidas Advancement Pack now at soccer.com. DC Hyper playing it out of the back. There's SK. SK, who for the start of this game has dropped pretty deep. In college, I feel like he played more midfielder and forward. He's going to go off right now. And you got mass changes, including the talented number 10, Costa, back in there. Good checkup here from Newtown Pride, trying to draw the whistle. Bounces around and then goes off the goalkeeper and in. And Newtown Pride on the board first. The goal coming from Luis Morales Perez Jr. We're going to give it to him. It kind of hung around. And there he is. So watch as Morales. So they hold it up, and then Morales will come in. It'll go off the near post, then off the crossbar, then down and off the goalkeeper. You got to give that to Morales. You could tell that DC Hyper was looking for a whistle. They thought there was a foul there. There's definitely a foul right there. So they kind of stopped for a moment. Morales didn't stop. And as it hit the near post, it went up off the crossbar. And by the time that it came back down, Roberto Gomez Jr., it went off of his hand and in. So you can't blame him, the goalkeeper that you're seeing right there on your TST, the tournament.com screen. But it's 1-0. Newtown Pride FC draws first blood. Looking for that second one. Knocked away by Roberto Gomez Jr. It was estimated last year at the TST that 35,000 people attended. I have no idea, but I'm just going to go from my gut and tell you that they're going to double that if they can. As one of the things that John Mugar said is they figured out ways to allow more people in, and they have really structured this entire facility. I mean, it's set up for a festival. This is a festival of soccer that happens to have $1 million that goes to the winner. And a ton of big-time personalities, a lot that don't know much about kicking a soccer ball, but they're out here anyway, then a lot that are just sublime at kicking a soccer ball. First real shot coming from DC Hyper. And from long distance, that was Fabio Cesar Grigoletto Jr. And you see Mendez back on his feet. Newtown Pride looking for their second. And saved. Interesting approach by DC Hyper as off the save, they quickly try to get it running. I think if you're DC Hyper, one of the keys will be reminding you about target score time is not to find yourself too deep in the hole, like 3 or 4 goals. If you can keep it to just 1 or 2, and then figure out how to manage those 3-minute increments as the players go off at target score time, you never know. There's a foul called against Newtown Pride. DC Hyper back on the ball. Gustavo Antonio de Souza, number 10, a youngster. Look at that. Newtown Pride, SC always seems to know when to pounce. They probably could have kept going because there was no whistle there. Juan Carlos Gonzalez did a nice job closing down. And a foul called against Newtown Pride. That was Juan Pereira, number 22. Remember, there's subs on the fly, so Newtown Pride mastered the subs on the fly last year. Another key that I'd already mentioned to winning this thing. And by the way, they did win it. Martins calling for it. He's one of those subs that just came in. And he's called for the foul. So now DC Hyper quickly get it going again with Gustavo Antonio de Souza, number 10. Brendo Cristiano Brito Silva, number 2, is into the game. It'll be a kick in for Newtown Pride. They have a 1-0 lead. Luis Morales Perez Jr., the goal scorer, 1-0. There's Costa checking back to get it to Toby. There's Costa again, feeling the pressure, plays it into space to Toby. Toby. You can see everybody in a green jersey, their first look is to try to find number 10. Right now, you're seeing DC Hyper try to keep a close eye on number 10 with their own number 10. So that'll be a good matchup to watch. I mean, it's a straight man mark here. I'm telling you, he was something else last year. So the scouting report is in. And remember, this is, the way I understand it, a circuit team, so a team that does go around and play in various tournaments for cash. Now, obviously not $1 million, but they are far from a beer league team. These are legit players. This is huge here as DC Hyper had an opening. Good defensive play by Newtown Pride to knock it away as DC Hyper had numbers there for a moment. It's back to the youngster again, wearing number 10. Soft feet, but as you saw right there, easily pushed down Gustavo Antonio de Souza. There's the goal scorer, Morales, and they'll play advantage. Referee was right there, probably a good call. Now another foul. They'll say no, that wasn't a foul, but it stays with Newtown Pride with the 1-0 lead. João Vitor Martins Miranda, number 16, into the game. Kind of playing the right back spot. This one sent long, punched out of there. And that is... This setup here for Field 3 is new. They added the bleachers and then also added the LED for sponsors. This one in mix up in the back, and Newtown Pride will pounce, and it's 2-0. A great start for Newtown Pride. You cannot make a mistake. They will make you pay, as Nilton DeAndrade will finish it. And you can see right there the goalkeeper with his hand in the air. Roberto Gomez Jr. knew it was his fault, as they'll play it back to him. And he just turns it over, and pouncing on it with the assist is Newtown Pride. And it's 2-0. You cannot give easy ones away, and that one was as easy as can be. Goal coming from Nilton DeAndrade. The assist, Gabriel Ganser. It was Ganser who got the gift from the goalkeeper, and now it'll be a foul, so a little bit of frustration perhaps settling in here now for DC Hyper. How about this, DC Hyper? Welcome to the TST. You're going to play last year's $1 million winner in game number 1. Costa over the ball. He can absolutely score from here, folks. As Newtown Pride has a couple targets for him, actually, on both posts. Costa elects not to shoot it. Dummy, plan play. No mustard on that one, and they'll go out of bounds. That shot coming from Sebastian Mendez, number 27. I might need to talk to Costa and tell him he needs to take that shot every time. Clearly, they tried to change things up. Back to Esque. Boy, really rough start, though, for DC Hyper. A mistake by the goalkeeper with no pressure on him at all. Just like 4 feet away, mishit it, drops it to Ganser, and then Ganser taps it over to DeAndrade, and now it's 2-0. So Morales and DeAndrade. Esque tries to get it into the box, taken away here by DC Hyper. DC Hyper will play it back. That was Mateus Galdino dos Santos, number 7. Now on the ball, Fabio Cesar Grigoletto Jr. Lucas Silva, he got the yellow card. I mean, short of the goal from Morales, that yellow card taking down Costa was actually a good foul, because Costa was off to the races. Kicked in here by DC Hyper. About 3.5 minutes into the second half. As you can see, the big man checking up, Robert Palmer, taken down. Palmer, he is thick and a handful. He's fouled. That'll set up a dangerous free kick opportunity. As it was Palmer actually with the foul. DC Hyper over the ball. DC Hyper looking for the equalizer. It somehow got all the way through, but then parried away, taken really well by Faber Cesar Grigoletto Jr. Check that, it was Sarcelo Sarvis, number 8, who smoked that. And here he is now on the ball. Good footwork, trying to drop it. And it's going to run out here over near the setup for the Pat McAfee show. As I mentioned, some are dubbing this McAfee Stadium, as Pat McAfee will do his show and play. And from what I've heard, if he does get out there, he will be mic'd up if it's live during the show. I'm not sure if that's definitely going to happen, but that's what was rumored. And I got no problem passing along rumors. Pereira will drop it all the way back. 5 minutes into the second half. Even at 8:30 this morning, there were 5 times the amount of people that were here last year when it first got started. And this thing kind of became like just a walking buzzsaw of excitement as every day the crowds got bigger and better, and everybody knew this was something special. And it'll be a corner kick. Speaking of special, nice work there from DC Hyper. Mateus Galdino dos Santos, number 7. He earns the corner kick. He'll take the corner kick. But off the corner kick, they start all over again at midfield. Newtown Pride giving a gift to start the second half to make it 2-0. And I'm talking an absolute gift. It's Roberto Gomez Jr. Just a little mental lapse and played it to Ganser, who dropped it over to DeAndre, and that's why we're at 2-0. And he almost did it again. That pressure. Yeah. So Silva with the yellow card's got to be careful. He didn't feel like it went off of him, but nonetheless, Newtown Pride will have the kick in with a 2-0 lead. Luis Morales Perez Jr., number 15, with the goal in the first half. And then the gift goal from Nilton DeAndre, just the start of the second half, and that's where we stand, 2-0, Newtown Pride on top of DC Hyper. It's going to roll out of bounds and come back to DC Hyper. Shop official TST merch and check out your favorite team's gear at soccer.com/TST. You see soccer.com on the field. Jackson Quarles, Durwood Williams, and of course soccer.com, founded by the Moylan brothers. While they were in college, and place gets bigger and bigger every year. And with the World Cup coming to the U.S. in 2026, they will get even bigger. Mike Moylan's son actually played youth soccer with my son Max, and I always told him I'd bring a t-shirt that said, "I got soccer.com, what do you got?" Here's Costa. I mean, it feels like deja vu for me seeing Newtown Pride just with their comfort. Now they bring the big man off the bench, drop it over to the little man, and a big-time save coming from DC Hyper as Roberto Gomez Jr. trying to make amends for that mistake that led to the score being 2-0. Remember that save, because one of the things I mentioned is DC Hyper does not want Newtown Pride to have a 3-4 goal lead before it goes to target score. If they can keep it to 2, that will work. Still got plenty of time. 29 minute out of 40 minutes. They play 2 20-minute halves before they go to the target score. Reminding you what target score is. If it's 2-0 and the game is over, the target score is 3. The first team to 3 wins. They get the 3 points. After 3 minutes of target score time, if there is not that third goal, in this case with the score 2-0, they take off a player. 3 minutes go by, still no goal, they take off another player. 3 minutes go by, another player. And as I mentioned, a couple games last year got down to 2 players, and it was as exciting as you can imagine. And you can bet it's going to happen again. Little flick, good play. Nice back pass, kept alive. Newtown Pride, Costa dummies it. And you're starting to see the brilliance of number 10. Kept alive here by Newtown Pride. Starting to show their flash. It was almost like they were just kind of taking it easy at first. There's Costa, intercepted, a rare mistake by him. As you're seeing the depth, Sebastian Mendez, number 27, in there with some good touches. Also, Tavoy Morgan, number 9, with some good touches. Taken away, Costa. Costa, numbers are good. It's 4v2 right now. Costa, if you're open, he'll find you. And Morgan takes the shot. That time probably did not need the dummy from Mendez. Mendez could have walked right into goal number 3. He left it. So it remains 2-0.
Changes.
The TST coming to you from WakeMed Soccer Park, Group G, Round 1. Newtown Pride FC, they won it last year, taking on a new team to the TST, DC Hyper. And it's your reigning champs with a 2-0 lead. 1 goal in the first half, and then just a gift to start the second half. A mistake from the goalkeeper. Played it right to Newtown Pride. 1 little dink pass, and it was 2-zip. Sousa dribbles right into trouble, and now he goes down as he's holding his right knee. There will be injuries. I mean, it's just part of what we're dealing with here. Is you've got some players that are into their 40s that play in this, that are legit players. See, Sousa looks like a little knee on knee. Ooh, actually looks more like the plant. He's still down. It's not totally ready to get up. So Gonzalez will help Sousa. And they will add a little bit of time. So even as you see this clock go to 40, what they normally do is stop it with 5 seconds left and then leave it to the referee if he wants to add a little bit of time. But it's marginal. They keep this thing humming. It is a fine-tuned machine, the TST. Sousa starting to bend that left leg a little bit. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Hey, targets in 2.
So Barry coming into the game. Marcel Barry, number 23. Robert Williamson into the game with that fantastic afro. He plays in the back with SK. He's closing in defensively now, and you'll see that afro. It's awesome. Good turn here. Shot! And parried away. Shot from distance coming from DC Hyper. Struck well by Pedro Gabriel Gonzalez. Decided to take the corner kick from the other side, according to the referee, and this will be Pedro Gabriel Gonzalez who mishit it. And Newtown Pride will have no problem with that, as we're in minute 35. As I mentioned, they could add a little bit of time because of that injury to Sousa. Seemed to take a couple of minutes at least. High press now coming from DC Hyper trying to score their first goal in the TST.
No, just remember the set piece, you clear, you leave the gap for
Goal in the first half coming from Luis Morales Perez Jr., number 15. There was what looked to be a foul right at the top of the goal box. Referee did not deem it a foul. They played on, and pouncing on it was Morales Perez Jr. He hit it off the post. It bounced up off the crossbar, came down, and hit the goalkeeper, who, that one, you can't blame the goalkeeper, but the second goal, just as the start of the second half, Roberto Gomez Jr. just handed one to Newtown Pride on a platter. Just as the second half started, they played it back to him, and he just, in a lack of concentration, just dropped it to Newtown Pride, who made one little 3-foot pass, and it was 2-zip before you could blink to start the second half. No whistle there. Ryan Sigic, the man in the middle. Costa back into the game. I feel like there should be trumpets like every time he comes back into the game, because he just has this kind of magical presence. He's a tiny tot, but he is really, really good. Sent long. Well done by DC Hyper to keep it alive. They still have it. They'll keep possession and play it all the way back. DC Hyper trying to find one. Fabio Cesar Grigoletto Jr., number 6, had a touch a moment ago. Now Newtown Pride. Good pass. Good chance to score. Good little footwork, and they do score. And I'll tell you what, a man who deserves a goal is Gabriel Ganser, because it was Ganser who had the assist on the second goal, and now he gets a goal. So an assist and a goal for number 3. And Gabriel Ganser, good little drop. And then watch the footwork here around the goalkeeper, who's had himself a rough day, and that one will go in the back of the net. Left, back to the right, right foot, finish. Also, great work by Marcel Berry, number 23, who kind of drew the goalkeeper away for a second, then dropped it to Ganser. And Ganser now with an assist and a goal in the second half, and Newtown Pride FC with a 3-0 lead. And they're methodical, they're mechanical, they're deep, they're fit, they're good in tight spaces. They play a lot of indoor soccer, a lot of small-sided games, and they've got the right formula. They pretty much gave everybody the formula last year as they walked away with the $1 million. 3-0 lead, trying to keep it that way as we are approaching target score time. So let that one roll out of bounds as Newtown Pride FC really, really fun to watch. How about the footwork, folks, from Ganser around the goalkeeper to make it 3-0. Costa whistled for the foul. That's the right call. He led with his elbow. So DC Hyper, as we're in the 40th minute, we'll see what Ryan Sigic wants to do about the injury that Souza had that lasted a couple minutes. TC Hyper. Low line here from Newtown Pride FC. Why not? They got the 3-0 lead, and we're in the 40th minute, so it's simply added time. Little drop here. TC Hyper looking for their first goal of the TST. Can they get it here? They turn. Deflected away. TC Hyper has had possession here for a couple minutes. They had the shot that was sent back by a defender. Didn't make its way all the way to the goalkeeper. That's Rito da Silva, number 14, who had it a moment ago, and he's got it now. Rito da Silva. And that will be the end of regulation. It's the leading team score +1. So 3 + 1 is 4. The first to 4 wins the game. As I mentioned earlier, players are moved every 3 minutes. So as we go along, 3 minutes, they go down to 6v6, 3 more minutes, 5v5, and so on until somebody gets to 4. The 2 goals in the second half, very valuable for a team like Newtown Pride, who has been there, done that. Your reigning champs. TC Hyper. They did have that yellow card earlier.
Normal lines, same lines.
But they had some change. The yellow card to Lucas Silva, number 9. There's the bench for TC Hyper.
That's it, boys.
There's the bench. Newtown Pride. Yeah, the coach mic'd up for Newtown Pride. Player coach Lua Obasi. Assistant coach Uzi Tayu. I feel like, as you see Morales, he scored the first goal of the game, but it's coming back to me last year as we kind of watched Newtown Pride as they came out of that bracket that featured the Hoosier Army team that I was very familiar with, having been with the Big Ten Network for 18 years. And one of the things that even the Hoosier Army talked about is, yeah, the indoor part of it, the fact that they're on the circuit, but they also seem to change up their tactics and sometimes have different personnel for the target time. I mean, they're that deep. They know each other really, really well. Some of these teams, they start making phone calls, you know, a month out, get the team together, all amped up, fully believing they're going to win the $1 million, but they still hadn't seen each other in a while. Off the ball, there was a foul there. I did not see it. As Newtown Pride's number 8, Juan Carlos Gonzalez, went down to the ground and wasn't too happy about it. I think the referee saw it either, so they'll play on here. TC Hyper needs 4 unanswered. Newtown Pride needs 1. Target score time. That clock is there for a reason, because every 3 minutes you'll see a player go off. More space out there as well. We're already seen Newtown Pride get Ganser back in there. Ganser with an assist and a goal. Brilliant goal. The assist was a gift given to him by the TC Hyper goalkeeper. That looked like a foul to me on Newtown Pride, but no whistle. Here's a man who's already got one, was trying to get the winner. And good save. Got to give credit to Roberto Gomez Jr. for making that save. That's a foul. I mean, probably could be a card. Doesn't look like they're going to give a card as the foul go against Juan Carlos Gonzalez. And this is a great opportunity now for DC Hyper to get on the board. I gotta believe they're thinking shot here, as they've got their talented number 10, Gustavo Antonio de Souza. I gotta believe he's thinking about his right foot here, and he is. And it's denied right at the goalkeeper. Good pressure from Ganser as they play it all the way back. It'll be a kick in for DC Hyper with a target score of 4. And we have hit the 3-minute mark where they need to take a player off. And here they go. There's the referee making the signal to take a player off. They still haven't done it yet.
It's a sub. It's a sub.
So now both teams take a player off. There they go.
Next one. Next one.
It's important that the center referee is in tandem in communication with his bench referee on those 3 minutes, because they want to keep it moving. And on the 3 minutes, they want to make that change to eliminate a player, open up the field in search of the winner. SK with some pressure. Three goals for your reigning champs. Luis Morales with a goal in the first half. Milton de Andrade with a tap in seconds into the second half, and Ganser, who dropped it to de Andrade, with a brilliant goal to make it 3-0. Those are the goal scorers. Taken away by Newtown Pride. Taken right back, though. The youngster number 10, who just took that free kick with promise. It'll be a corner kick. So nice work by DC Hyper's Gustavo Antonio de Souza. Quickly plays it in. Back to Gustavo. Gustavo gives it up. That shot will sail over the crossbar, coming from Fabio Cesar Gugaletto Jr. We got mass changes coming now for Newtown Pride. So still 6v6. Worked by the goalkeeper, milking some of the time as we're approaching the 6 minutes where they need to go to 5v5, and this field will open wide up. They should be making the change any second now. Turn, no whistle. They'll play through this before they make the change. Still loose and kept alive there by Newtown Pride. Good work. Defensively in the back, cleaning things up. Darren Toby, who's had a good game. He plays it over to Sebastian Mendez. Mendez probably a little unselfish there in that second half. Could have taken a shot. Costa had played it to him. They need to make the change. It's still 6v6. They're well over the 3 minutes. It's important that they get that right.
They're gonna stop it, so it's gonna be 5v5. If you don't score.
So it's 6v6.
No one passes you. No one passes you, boys. Stay with your man. Stay off the keeper.
I'm going to guess they're waiting for a dead ball to get to 5v5. Target score is 4. Shot from distance, and it's at the goalkeeper. Costa's going to come off. 2 new players coming on, and they still have not found that dead ball opportunity.
Check what the fives are. Offensively. Out the box, Rhea.
Christian Hernandez Urbina, the goalkeeper for Newtown Pride, done his job, pitching a shutout. And now they'll go to 5v5 on that foul.
Boys, check the lines there.
All right, so now we're at 5v5. Target score of 4. Newtown Pride, how did they miss that afro of Robert Williamson, number 66. Shot from distance and parried over. It'll be a corner kick coming from DC Hyper. They got some wood to chop. They need to score 4 in a row. I mean, who knows? They may have different type of personnel that'll suit wide open if it can get to 4v4 or 3v3.
Just stay. Easy job. Here's the ball. It's all right. We use their best player. Step up.
So they looked at 5v5 and a whistle before that shot.
Send Berto this side,
No, there's no whistle. They'll count it. So it's 3-1, so the goal happened.
Wait,
My apologies, strange whistle there. It's 3-1 though, as DC Hyper is on the board from long distance. Ryan Sigic, as he blew the whistle, crossed his arms like kind of like a wave off. So a little bit confusing, but obviously when he dropped it down, it counted. And well done, as DC Hyper has scored.
Kill the 10.
They still have 0 on the Cocoa Booth Stadium scoreboard, but they took it out of the goal and they put it at midfield, so going to stay in line here on the broadcast and keep it 3-0, but I believe it's 3-1. Just purely speculation. If it's not a goal, it could have been a situation where they had an advantage with players. This is part of this. I'm again just grabbing at straws here, trying to figure out why they haven't put the one up there. Now they're going to take another player off. Target score of 4. For now, we're going to stick with 3-0, but there is the possibility that that long distance shot that included some whistles and some kind of weird movements from the referee after the goal, but yet he did pick it up out of the goal and put it at midfield. As it's now 4v4. So much fun. That'll go out of bounds. I mentioned earlier, one of the keys as it gets to 4v4, 3v3 is how good the goalkeeper is, because the goalkeeper will need to join in. He'll need to cross midfield and join in, which obviously does lead to breakaway potential, but they need to find that target of 4. You see it on the LED boards. First team to the target score of 4 wins.
Robbie, yeah,
Right now, limited movement, almost feeling like Newtown Pride SC would be fine winding down these 90 seconds and going to 3v3. I mean, minimal movement here. I don't remember this as part of last year's round-the-clock coverage of the TST. It always felt like when they got to 4v4, 3v3, I mean, they were on the move, trying to combine passes, draw somebody over. Right now, Newtown Pride content, just playing it back to the goalkeeper, as SK is going to do it again. Wow, they called that foul against Newtown Pride, and they give it back now to all right, they bring it back again. So now it does make me feel like it is 3-0. There's something about the speed of play. It's 4v4. This 3-minute period has also expired, so it should be going to 3v3 next opportunity. Shot from distance. Good save. Now Newtown Pride going to try to counter. Can they make it happen here? Here's SK. SK on the move. He's got one pass to make or a shot. Sends it back over, and it's going to go out of bounds. Here we go. We're going to go to 3v3. Looks like SK is going to come off. There'll be 2 players for 1 as coming in. Robert Williamson. So Robert Williamson for Newtown Pride. Is out there with Toby. Both goalkeepers are out there. DC Hyper, they'll go with Silva. We've got that yellow card early. It's 3v3. Silva. Good shot, denied again. Goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. Ooh, we got a foul right there. It could be a card as well. And the yellow card will come to number 14, Rito da Silva. As Palmer goes flying down. Here we go. Costa now in 3v3. Trying to close this one down. Costa. Morales. Christian Hernandez Urbina, the goalkeeper. Costa. Urbina. Now Morales. It's down to 3v3. Target score of 4. Costa. Morales. Urbina, who's been outstanding in goal for Newtown Pride, making big-time saves, may have to make a big-time goal. He's going to have to step up, get himself in a position to shoot. Right now, DC Hyper pinning the corners of the goal box with their 2 defenders in front of the goalkeeper and really not moving from there. Now they'll come out a little bit, but not much. Urbina, side of the foot, Costa. Now Morales. Morales, who was a little bit deep. Back to Costa. Costa to win it, and he does! Newtown Pride FC, target score of 4. Came on the air talking about Costa. Will come off the air of this game talking about Costa. He gets the target score, and Newtown Pride FC, your reigning champs, take down DC Hyper by a score of 4-0. Costa with the game winner. And Newtown Pride, the last game they played here, they got a win. The first game they play here this year, they get a win. I want to thank our producer, director, Haley, and our entire crew. I'm Dean Linke. Congratulations to Newtown Pride, a 4-0 winner.